Between my freshman and sophomore year of high school, my family and I moved from Houston, Texas to Oakland, California. At the time, I was very content with my life in Houston, and the last thing I wanted to do was move to a new high school. But I remember thinking, I didn't want to make any new friends. I remember thinking, well, I'll just meet some people when I go do their summer football workouts and their summer football program. That ended up kind of being a disaster because I kept going to the varsity instead of the JV practices, and those people were not in my grade level, and yeah, I just never really ended up meeting anyone of note. So I remember thinking, well, if football didn't work out, the only thing I really have left is the transfer orientation. And I remember being there. I met a few people, but I didn't really think anything would actually come of it. And so I thought it was okay, but it didn't really do much for me. And then after the transfer orientation, the only thing that was really left was the regular orientation, and that's where everyone is there and doing all their things before school. So I was in line waiting to get my picture taken, so that for the student IDs that we all have. I was standing there just looking around. Everyone's talking to people, and I'm like, man, this is my nightmare. This is exactly what I didn't want to happen. But as I'm standing there and the line's getting smaller, I hear someone call out my name, and it's a big sigh of relief. It wasn't like a professor, teacher, or anything like that. It was a student. And I look over, and the guy who called my name, I recognize his face because I met him at the transfer orientation, but he knew my name, and I had no idea what his name is. And when you're in that situation, especially when you know no one, it's kind of bad to not know their name. So I was frantically trying to remember his name, but I couldn't. So I just played it off like, "Hey man, how's it going?" Blah blah blah. And but the best thing is he was with a group of his friends. He was from the area, and he just transferred schools, so he already knew some people at the school. So he introduced me to all his friends in the line, and we talked and hung out for a while. And meeting someone at the orientation before the school began made going to the school a whole lot easier. And because I got introduced to all his friends, and I went there on the first day, the worst thing as a new student to a new school is lunch. And I was thinking, oh shit, who am I gonna, eat with? What am I gonna do? Never really been in that situation before. But I looked around a bit, and I saw Brandon, and he called me over with this group of friends, and we sat and had a great lunch and did that for a while after. So a new culture and a new high school is always a tough transition, but people like Brandon made it a lot easier. And today we're still friends. We talk pretty regularly, and we actually just planned a snowboard trip together. So I'll always be thankful to Brandon for how much he helped me out in a really rough time in my life, and he's a great person, and I hope others find people like him as well.